Welcome back. You're still watching Technoholic. Now that you've seen all the Ultrabooks and all the TVs, let's get down to tablets. We're in the Toshiba stall checking out the Xi10, which is the thinnest 10.1-inch tablet yet. Now, I have to confirm that fact for myself. So this is what the tablet is. As you see, it's thin, but I don't know exactly how thin it is. So I'm going to compare it to the iPad 2 right here. And let's see now. Well, they claim this is 7.7 millimeters thin and the iPad 2 is 8.9 millimeters, so they're off by 1 millimeter, which makes them the thinnest tablet yet. So that works well for the tablet, although I'm not really convinced that this is the thinnest tablet. For some reason, this feels actually thicker than the iPad 2. I'm not able to believe that this is the thinnest tablet yet. But well, will thin work for you? Let's tell you what the Toshiba Xi can give you for your tablet experience and all the other tablets that we saw at the CES 2012. Let's get you the full lowdown on specs. This slim tablet has managed to pack in a 1.2 GHz dual-core processor, a 5-megapixel camera, and a 1280 by 800 pixel display. Speakers, 2-megapixel front camera, micro HDMI port, micro SD card slot, and micro USB make up the rest. This will ship with Android's latest Ice Cream Sandwich OS in the 16GB version. Toshiba also displayed a 15-inch version of the tablet, but it was all locked away from us. Moving on to the other tablets, next comes the super slim Samsung Tab 7.7. A 7-inch version in the Tab series, this feels just right in your hand, courtesy the form factor. The screen is pure AMOLED Plus, powered by a 1.4 GHz dual-core processor, 3-megapixel rear camera, all this with Android 3.2 and Samsung's customized TouchWiz on top. The 7.7 weighs just 300 grams. Pick this up over the Samsung Note any day if the price is right. The makers of the Tablet S, one of the finest Android tablets we've seen, also had the Flip Tablet P on display. This tablet has two 5-inch screens which close up like a Game Boy and is very handy. Complete with PlayStation controls, videos play on the top half of the screen, where websites are spread across the two screens to give the full page. It runs Honeycomb like the S along with 1 GHz dual-core Cortex A9 processor, 5-megapixel back camera, front camera and a microSD slot for extra storage. It seems like a novelty product more than actual functionality because no matter how you see it, this is a form factor that will get a lot of getting used to. But we can't wait for a full hands-on review. And the best tablet at CES, hands down, was the Asus ePad Transformer Prime TFT 700T. Forget the huge name, all you need to remember is the 1920 by 1200 resolution of the tablet. The screen is super IPS display with a much higher pixel density and kicks the screen of most tablets out there. It will have Android ICS on it along with a keyboard dock. On board is a 1.3 GHz quad-core Tegra 3 chip with 2-megapixel front camera. This will be available in 32 and 64 GB models, and hands off Sagar and Siddharth, this one is mine when it comes to India. And with all the tablets, we went to check out the phone action. And now it's phone time on the show, and first up we're checking out two phones from Sony. This is the Sony Xperia S, and this one right here is the Sony Xperia Ion. Now, note that I didn't say Sony Ericsson because Sony just bought out the Ericsson brand, and these will be the first phones that will be released in the market which will be just made by Sony. This is the first, that's the Sony Xperia S. Now, in terms of design, it's a tad bit bulky, actually more bulkier than the Samsung Galaxy S2. But right at the back, it has a 12-megapixel camera. It has a front-facing camera, which is right here, which is a 1.3-megapixel camera, which can do 720p HD video. And this is also has a nice transparent block right here, which is not actually just for style, but this is where the antenna is hidden on the phone. But in terms of the operating system, it runs Gingerbread. It will get an ICS update very, very soon. And in terms of the internal memory, it has 32 GB with no SD card slot, so you can't expand your memory on the phone. And also, this will be the first phone that will be released in the market with just the Sony branding. The second one on our list is the Sony Xperia Ion. It's got a bigger screen. This is a 4.5-inch screen. The specs are almost the same. 1.5 GHz dual-core processor, 12 megapixel camera at the back. The same 1.3 megapixel camera right here. But this comes with a micro SD slot, so you can expand your memory. And also it's got a very, normal smartphone look with the Xperia branding right here. Also, this also runs Gingerbread, and this will also get an ICS update very soon. So these are the first phones to kick off our phone lineup in CES. There's plenty more that we checked out. Go see our top phones of CES 2012. Motorola certainly didn't disappoint our smartphone fans at CES this time with the Droid 4 and the Droid Razr Max. Let's check out the Droid 4 first. This Androider is surprisingly thin for a full-size slider keyboard and is 0.5 inches at its thickest point. It has a 4-inch QHD display, dual-core processors, 8-megapixel back camera, micro SD slot, 16 GB internal storage, the complete works. The keyboard is LED backlit, is waterproof and is also enterprise-enabled with literally government-grade encryption and Citrix receiver for desktop virtualization. The Droid Razr Max, on the other hand, is just a plain old thin powerhouse of sorts. It's just 0.3 inches thin with the same specs as the older Razr with a 4.3-inch Super AMOLED screen, 8-megapixel camera, 1.2 GHz dual-core, all the regulars. Both these phones will get Android ICS updates very soon, Motorola promises. But we found another phone at CES that completely knocked the Razr Max out of the park when it comes to being thin. The Huawei Ascend P1S is impressive at a mere 0.2-inch thickness for a 4.3-inch Super AMOLED screen. But it does not give up on the hardware as it has a 1.5 GHz dual-core TI OMAP 4460 inside, 8-megapixel back camera, 3G, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, you name it, it's got it. We expect this phone to be picked up by the major fashionistas and also who think the Samsung S2 is the thinnest phone they've ever seen. And finally, Lenovo also kicked off the phone celebrations with the new Intel-powered phone, the K800. It is the first smartphone with a single-core Intel Atom Z2460 mobile processor coupled with a Power VR SGX 540 graphics chip. The phone runs on Android 4.0 and Lenovo's own Lee OS interface layered on it. The K800 is a 4.5-incher with an 8-megapixel camera and promises battery life of 8 hours on 3G. Sadly, this phone will not be available in India as Lenovo has no plans of selling it to us mobile phone lovers this side of the planet. Now, how could we come all the way to CES and not get a little bit of gaming on the show? So, Sagar, eat your heart out. This is the PlayStation Vita. Now, we've shown you the specs of the Vita some weeks earlier on the show, but here's a quick recap. This handheld has full analog controls as well as the 4-way controls with a 5-inch OLED touchscreen. Games will now be available on memory sticks instead of the earlier UMDs, and the back is also a touch panel. Internally, the Vita features a 4-core ARM Cortex-A9 MPC core processor and a 4-core graphics processing unit. Now, when we used the device, the touchscreen seemed a bit laggy and also we could never understand the use for that touch back panel. But the interface is what hit us most. We weren't impressed. It's a great device, yes, with backward compatible games from the store. It could also be a great successor to the PSP, but it definitely needs better games. Let's see how it feels when we get a full review as it hits the globe in February this year. Now that we've made Sagar jealous, time to make Siddharth jealous with a good camera. Now, we all live a dual life when it comes to our cameras. We love our phone cameras because it's easy to upload the pictures and live the social media life. But also, we love our point-and-shoot cameras. We love the DSLRs because the picture quality is higher. And of course, it's the perfect camera to take on vacations to and share the photos with the family. Now, what if you want to upload the photos from your Digicam or your DSLR right back to the internet and not stop leading the social life altogether? Well, Samsung seems to have found an answer to that very question. This is the WB150F. And in terms of specifications, it has a 14.2 megapixel resolution. It can do 18x optical zoom, it has a 24mm wide angle lens. Everything checks out on paper. It has a 3-inch LCD, but it's not a touch LCD. But the cool feature in this camera is that it has something called a Wi-Fi button. Well, basically this uses Wi-Fi direct to connect the camera to your phone if you want to transfer the pictures, or also it can upload the pictures onto the internet, also upload it to Facebook, email it to yourself, and also share it with the television. Now basically Wi-Fi direct is when two devices which are wireless devices but can connect to each other when there is no Wi-Fi network. So basically what this does is makes it just more easier to share your pictures because the resolution in this is much higher. But my only question is, yes, all these cameras are very fancy, yes, the resolution is nice and the inbuilt feature is nice. But do we actually use these cameras to take those kind of pictures? Even when cameras in phones have gone up to 16 megapixels now, is the age of these point-and-shoot cameras, even with Wi-Fi features, going to die? Well, I for one just use my phone camera for all kinds of pictures and just upload it on the internet because the resolution is good enough. So let's wait and see how the WB150F does in the Indian market. It's going to come very soon for a price of about 19 to 20,000 rupees. So let's see how that does in India. But that's not the only camera that we found at CES. Plenty more camera action coming right up. There was also another camera from Fujifilm which caught our eye. The Fujifilm X Pro 1 has 3 compact bright Fujinon lenses, a newly developed 16 megapixel APS-C X-Trans CMOS sensor incorporating a uniquely designed filter array to optimize image color and quality. It's got the mirrorless technology, and the sheer design of the camera would make any avid photographer fall in love with this beauty. And with all those gadgets, our time at CES had come to an end. Tiring as it was still a lot of fun. Till next time, CES. That's all we have on this edition of Technoholic. That's our CES coverage of 2012. But you can always keep the conversation going on Twitter. Our IDs are flashing on your screens right now. And you can also email us at technoholic@indiatimes.com. And for all the news and updates, always stay logged on to technoholic.com.